what is your opinion on the best time to make that one meal a day or a 4-hour eating window to make maximum weight loss?
This question is tricky because we're so used to science telling us what's best, right? Ooh, it's best to eat here's the science reason why. There's a train of thought in the intermittent fasting community based on some research that, morning is a better time to have your eating window. People call it circadian fasting, and it's based on a study that was done on early time restricted eating. The interesting thing, though, is they found in the study on early time restricted eating, they compared an early eating window to eating all day. Guess which one was better? The early eating window was better than eating all day. So the study showed that early time restricted eating is better than eating all day. But what we didn't have in that study was an early time restricted eating window compared to a late time restricted eating window, with all other variables being equal. And anyone who's ever had a science fair project, knows that you can't, have all these crazy variables and then draw conclusions. You have to keep everything the same except the one thing you're changing. And in this case, we need a study where the only thing they're changing is time of day. We actually have one. I talked about it in Fast Feast Repeat, but it was really short, and they didn't find any difference at all. Spoiler alert there. They didn't find any difference on what time of day you had your eating window, biologically. And there's a lot of theories out there as to why early might be better, but until we have a really long-term study comparing different times, we really just don't know. But I have my study of one, and I know that if I have an early eating window, like let's say I decided, just like the question said, that 11 was ideal based on some theoretical or whatever, some study, and 11 was better. If someone told me 11 is better, and I tried to force myself to have my eating window at 11, here's what happens for me. Anytime I've ever said, I'm just going to have my meal early today for this special occasion, and then I'll close my window and it'll be fine. Well, that is not what happens. I eat at 11 and I'm fine, and then I'm perfectly fine. Then regular dinner time comes and goes and I'm still fine. And then 8 p.m. rolls around and I am legit starving. Like starving, not just like, oh, I could eat, but I'm like, I am very hungry. And I don't sleep very well if I go to bed and I'm hungry like that. I toss and turn all night. So for me, I cannot have an early window and not eat again. I just can't. So to me, early window turns into all day eating. So that is not, even if science showed me that was the best, it doesn't work for me because it's miserable for me to go to bed hungry and be hungry later. Whereas if I go through the day in the fasted state and I wait to open my window at around 4 p.m., I go to bed after, I don't eat right up until, I hop in the bed. I usually stop eating 7:30. If I'm having wine, maybe 8. And then I go to bed 9 or 10, whenever that is. So I'm not like immediately going to bed after dinner, but then I sleep well. And that feels like a lifestyle to me.